Picture this. Your phone buzzes, you glance down, and it's a notification from your bank. And before you even read it, your stomach does a little flip. So you do what a lot of people do. You swipe it away. You'll check later, because somewhere in the back of your mind, you've decided that not looking feels safer than looking, as if the number can't hurt you if you never see it. So days go by, maybe a week, and the whole time this quiet little anxiety just hums in the background. You don't actually know how much money you have, you're just hoping it's fine. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. There's actually a name for this. Psychologists call it the ostrich effect, the tendency to avoid information you're afraid of, like an ostrich burying its head in the sand. And money? Money is one of the biggest triggers for it. The moment you most need the information is the exact moment you hide from it. My name is Ryan, and I spend way too much time thinking about the tiny habits that quietly make people richer or poorer. And today, I want to make a claim that sounds almost too simple to be true. Checking your bank app every single day for about 60 seconds can genuinely make you wealthier over time. If you're someone who avoids looking at your accounts, hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Okay, let's start with the uncomfortable part. Most people think checking your account a lot is a sign of anxiety, something stressed, broke people do. But the research points the other way. The people who avoid their accounts, they tend to spend more, get hit with more fees, and feel more financial stress, not less. And the people who glance at their money regularly spend less without even trying. The avoidance isn't protecting you, it's the thing quietly costing you. Tiny, forgettable moments. A few taps here, a subscription there, a coffee, a quick online order. Individually, none of it feels like much, but your brain has no running total. It can't feel the sum. So when you don't look, all those little decisions just disappear into a fog. And this is where it gets really interesting. The simple act of looking creates something psychologists call a feedback loop. The moment you see the number, your brain connects today's spending to today's balance. And that connection is what changes behavior. It's the same reason people who weigh themselves daily manage their weight better, or why a step counter quietly makes you walk more. You're not adding willpower, you're adding awareness, and awareness does the work. So here's the habit, and it's almost stupidly small. Once a day, I like first thing in the morning with coffee. You open your bank app and you look at 3 things. 60 seconds total. First, your balance. Just the number. No judgment, no math, just see it. Second, yesterday's transactions. Scroll the last day and recognize each one. The goal isn't to cut anything, it's just to notice. Yep, groceries. Yep, gas. Wait, what's that $11 charge? Third, anything that surprises you. A forgotten subscription, a fee, a charge you don't recognize, flag it. That's it. You're not budgeting, you're not tracking categories in a spreadsheet, you're just checking the gauge. Now let's talk about why those 60 seconds pay. And they pay 2 ways. First, the obvious one, catching leaks. The average person is paying for subscriptions they completely forgot about, and a daily glance catches them fast. Catch one $15 subscription you don't use, plus a couple of small bank fees a year, and you've quietly saved a few $100s without trying at all. And if you took, say, $300 a year you'd otherwise have leaked, and invested it at a historical average of around 8% a year, after 25 years, that's roughly $24,000 from a habit that takes a minute a day. But the second way, it's bigger and harder to see. When you look daily, you spend less on everything because every purchase now lands in a brain that's paying attention. The awareness itself is the brake. Think of it like the fuel gauge in your car. Imagine driving with the gauge taped over. You'd have no idea how much gas you had, so you'd either panic constantly or run out at the worst possible moment. Nobody does that. We glance at the gauge without even thinking, and that glance quietly shapes every decision. Your bank balance is the fuel gauge for your whole financial life. Avoiding it doesn't make the tank fuller, it just means you're driving blind. Now, you might be thinking, okay, Ryan, but won't checking every day just make me more anxious? Totally fair, it's the most common worry. But here's the thing, the anxiety doesn't come from the information, it comes from the not knowing. Uncertainty is what your brain treats as a threat. Once you actually see the number, even a bad number, the fear usually shrinks, because now it's a known thing you can act on, instead of a vague monster in the dark. People almost always feel calmer after a week of daily checks, not more stressed. You're trading a constant low hum of dread for 60 seconds of clarity. Let me tell you about someone I'll call Tyler. Tyler was a classic avoider. He'd go a week, sometimes two, without opening his bank app because looking made him feel sick. So he tried one thing. Every morning, 60 seconds, just look. No budgeting, no rules. The first few days were uncomfortable, but by the end of the first week, something shifted. He caught 2 subscriptions he'd forgotten, a duplicate charge, and a bank fee he called and got refunded. And more than that, he told me he just stopped buying as much. Not because he decided to, because every purchase now had a witness. A month in, he wasn't anxious about money anymore. For the first time in years, he actually knew where he stood. He said the wild part wasn't the money he saved, it was that the dread just left. So let's recap. First, understand the real problem. Avoiding your accounts, the ostrich effect, isn't protecting you, it's costing you. Second, build the 60-second daily habit. Balance. Yesterday's transactions, anything surprising. Third, treat it as awareness, not budgeting. No rules, just looking. And fourth, let the feedback loop do the work. The awareness quietly lowers your spending and catches your leaks. Because here's the truth most people miss. Wealth usually isn't built by one big dramatic decision. It's built by paying attention, and attention is free. The richest habit you can build costs 60 seconds a day and $0. So once you start, something quietly changes. The dread fades, the surprises stop, and you go from hoping your money's okay to actually knowing. If this helped you look at your accounts a little differently, hit that subscribe button. And I'm curious about one thing. How long do you usually go without checking your bank balance? Be honest. Let me know in the comments, because I have a feeling some of you are nodding right now.